Hey Novel Nighthawks, here we are with Module 3, Lesson 33. The objective for this lesson is I will be able to explain the connection of the area model of division to the long division algorithm or the standard algorithm. And we're going to be working with 3 and 4 digit dividends. So what we're going to do is we're going to work through problems with an area model and then see how is that connected to just the standard algorithm, similar to what we did with multiplication, okay? But like I've said before, kind of the end goal is the standard algorithm. So if the area model, you're like, what? Like that's totally confusing, but you get the standard algorithm, then use that strategy, okay? Solve your division with the long division standard algorithm, okay? So our first problem is going to be 672 divided by 3, okay? So if we were to set this up as an area model, that our dividend, our 672, is going to be our area, okay? And our 3 is going to be one of our lengths. And then our quotient, that is our other length or our width that we don't know right now, okay? When we set this up as an area model, we're going to break our dividend up to numbers that are easily divisible by 3. So I'm going to do my hundreds first, okay? So my hundreds, well, 3 can go into 6 evenly. So I don't need to break that one up. I can leave that one alone. So I'm going to make this 600, okay? But now I have 72. I'm going to think about that for a second. Well, if I time this by 10, right? I've said that before. If you do this by 10, that's going to get you easily to a number divisible by 3. So that's going to give me 30. But I need to make 72. So if I do another 30, so I've got 30, 60. So if I do 72 minus 60, that leaves me with 12. So then my last area can be 12. So now I could easily break this apart and divide it by 3 much quicker, okay? So we would think of this as 600 divided by 3. Well, 6 divided by 3, that's 2. So that's going to be 200, okay? 30 divided by 3, I know is 10. 30 divided by 3 is 10. And then 12 divided by 3 is 4. And then to get my final quotient, I add all this together. So 200 plus 10 plus 10 plus 4 will give you our final quotient. Sorry, that's really small. So we're going to have 1024 plus 200, 224 is our final quotient. Okay, so let's see what that looks like with just that standard algorithm or long division. Okay, so 6 divided by 3, which is what we did right here, right? We know that's, we can make 2 groups. So 6 divided by 3 is going to give me 2. 3 times 2 is 6. Bring down my 7. So how many groups of 3 can I make out of 7? 3, 6, 9. I can only do 2 again. 3 times 2 is 6. Bring down my 2 gives me that 12. So you can kind of see the patterns that's connecting. So I did my 600, my 2 30s I did on my 7s from my 10s, and then 12 divided by 3 we know is 4, which gave us that 224. Okay, so really the area model is breaking the number apart into easier divisible numbers. But like I said, this is just another tool. Okay, it's not a mandatory way for you to solve division problems. If this is making more sense to you, then you can stick with that. This is just another tool, another strategy, if you like it. Okay? All right, so let's do another one. All right, here's our next problem. So we got our 4-digit dividend by our 1-digit divisor. So I have 1,000 344. It's going to be my area. I'm going to make this bigger so you can see it. So about 1,344, okay? And one of my lengths is going to be 6, but if I partition that off into numbers that are easily divisible by 6, then we can divide it just a little bit easier. So I'm going to look at this just like as when we're dividing. Well, I can't divide into the thousands evenly, but if I look at 13, I know that 12 is really close to 13, and 12, 6 can go into evenly. So I'm going to turn that into 1,200, okay? But then I still have 144. If you take this away from your total, I have 124. Well, 120, not 124. So you can always subtract to make sure that we are doing this correctly. 144, okay? Well, 144, if I were to take another 120, because I know 12 is that common number of 6, and then subtract that from what I have left over, and now I'm going to have 24. And I know 6 can go into 24 evenly because 6 times gives me 24, right? I don't want to give it to you yet. Okay, so now we can divide. Well, 6 can go into 12 how many times? 6 can go into 12 2 times, and I add my zeros. Again, 6 can go into 12 2 times, add your 0. 6 times 4 gives me 24. So 6 times 4, 24. When I add these together, it gives me 224. Okay, and if we did that with long division, so we got 1,344 divided by 6. You guys still see that? So 6 can go into 13. We know 6 times 2 gives me 12. Subtract, bring down my 4. So now I have 14. Again, 6 times 2 is 12, which is really close to 14 without going over. Subtract. 4 minus 2 is 2. Bring down my 4. There's that 24 that I portioned off. And we know that I can divide 24 by 6 is 4. So I don't have that remainder. Okay. Now, to be completely honest, when I was learning this, when I was working on division, this was much harder for me. Okay. This made more sense to me. So, like I said on the last problem, if this makes more sense, continue to do this, but know that this is a strategy you can use if you want to. Okay, just like in multiplication, we have area models, standard algorithm, partial products. They're all tools. They're all strategies for you to use. But whichever one makes the most sense, you can stick with that one. Okay? All right, so we're going to do a couple more, but just long division. Okay? Well, one more probably. All right, here's 1,216 divided by 4. And I know I said long division, but because we're doing area model, we should still do it with this one too. So let's set this up with our area model. So I've got 1,216. I know one of my lengths is 4. Okay, so if I were to partition that number off to make it easily divisible by 4, well, when I look at that, I see 12. I know that 4 times 3 is 12, so I can leave my 1,200 there. And 1,216 minus 1,200, that's going to leave me with 16. So that one was a little bit easier to partition off because we could really see it in the number. So now we can think, we'll ignore those zeros for a second. 12 divided by 12 divided by 4 is 3. Add your 2 zeros. And then 4 times 4, I know, gives me 16. So my answer is going to be my quotient, 304. So let's double check that with long division. So we're going to have 1,216 divided by 4. So I can't divide into 1, so I need to look at 12. So 12 divided by 4, we know up here we found out was 3. 4 times 3 is 12. Bring down our 1. Remember, if I bring something down and I can't divide into it, I still need to put my 0, right? So 4 cannot go into 1. 1 cannot be divided by 4, so we put a 0. 4 times 0 is 0. Leaves us with 1, and we bring our 6 down. Now we have that 16 like we just had up here. So 16 divided by 4, I know is 4 because 4 times 4 is 16. So our quotient is 304. Okay. So do give the area model a try while you're working through this lesson, just to see, you can watch it so many times and it doesn't really make sense, but when you do it more, then it does make a little more sense. But I'm going to stick to what I was saying. If this is making more sense when you get to your assignments, then you can continue to do that. Okay, but understand that this is there for you too. All right? Okay, good job today. Keep working hard. We're going to start transitioning into multiplication and double-digit multiplication. So if you are still struggling with division, please come to my office hours and we can work through division some more together so you can really master it before we continue on to another standard. Okay? All right. Good job today, Nighthawks. Keep working hard. We will see you soon.